Well, if only to keep our wits about us, I think we should be grateful that we have Valentine's Day this weekend. What with all the shenanigans, political and in court, in Parliament, etc. going on, it is a bit of a break. And you know, despite the recent interest rate hike, the increase, massive increase actually in household debt, which I find very, very worrying, I think you should too, we'll find that all the tills of all the towns will ring pretty merrily over this week and certainly over the weekend, particularly restaurants, florists, confectioners, those sorts of people. They'll be really taking in takings over the weekend. And especially in the United States, which is where, of course, what was called the commercialization of Cupid first began. But this year, there'll be a further decline in the very thing that started modern Valentine's Day, and that is the card. Valentine's Day cards. Millions of them will flit around the world today, over the weekend certainly, but they'll be electronic. They'll go from computer to computer. There'll be very, very few actual cards, the things that started, which means, of course, there'll be a loss of jobs. There'll be fewer postal deliverers required, fewer postal sorters required, printers, card makers, etc. It's an example, actually a small one, admittedly, of how technological progress actually affects jobs. And therefore, there's a very good lesson, a serious lesson in this for trade unionists, but for any concerned citizen. Now, in the greater scheme of things, as I've said, it's not really that serious. But the whole story of Valentine's Day, particularly from 1847, when it first started in Worcester in the United States, in Massachusetts, is a very good lesson in what actually does happen when you have technology increasing productivity, increasing efficiency, and resulting in a loss of jobs. I don't know how many of you have actually thought about this, or even thought about the history of Valentine's Day. This is what I think I'll concentrate on in my Inside Labour column, which you can access on this platform, Fin24, tomorrow, and a version of which will appear in the City Press, in the business section, on Sunday. And of course, always appreciate your comments, criticisms, suggestions, and your ideas about Valentine's Day and the fact that perhaps it shouldn't exist at all, because it appears that Saint Valentine, or the Feast of Saint Valentine as it was, Saint Valentine probably didn't exist at all. But anyhow, that's all from me for this week. Cheers.